remember the little Henry 160 I plucked out of a skip a little while ago? Well, he is at this stage now. In real terms, this has been quite a quick job because I actually have a use for him imminently. So, he's no good at the minute. We need to smash him back together, get him done, and see what he runs like now, considering that we pulled him out of a skip. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and pneumatic Henry chums. How are you today? Yes, through the Henry eye, we can see a nice HVR160 ready to put back together. And I say nice because it is. It's not too bad. I mean, if we go straight for the lid, which is arguably going to be the worst part of the machine, yeah, it is quite bad. I've picked a load of paint off of it. I've picked a load of expanding foam off of it. But, you know, in his brief couple of years at the time of filming on this planet, he'll do. You know, you put him on the floor, your average person is going to use him. They're not going to notice. I mean, that's about it, really. I know we all moan about the cheapness of pneumatics nowadays, and yeah, obviously that's quite a bit of wear there. But again, when that's happening with plaster dust added, which you shouldn't really do anyway, is it any wonder? I think we'll be okay. The best bit, of course, is this motor, which I just wiped down. It is mint, absolutely mint, both inside and out. Oh, go away, cable. Nothing wrong with that motor at all. I did briefly consider motor bodging it, but if you're watching this on the day it goes out, hello, how was your Christmas? Because yeah, this is part of my pneumatic week that I'm doing for Christmas 2024. But I've not done any of the machines yet, so I'd like to say that did we do a motor bodge to the 200? I think we need to. I've not even filmed that yet, but I can sense it. So yeah, we'll keep this one completely stock. And I mean, we need to start by putting him back together, really. So we shall take the motor locating rubbers and fit them back into this part here. Then we can take our motor, feed the wires through, line up the carbon brushes so they drop through the hole. Oh, there we go. And then it all just clips into place. These are very simple nowadays. They have done well with the whole making them easy to work with. Then the older ones, like again, I'm presuming we went into this much detail on the 200. I presume we would have done. Right, side clips in, clippity, going to line up little dots on there and then push like that. I've actually put the motor rubber on there, but I'm actually going to put it here first because otherwise it's just going to fall out. I can hold the motor up like this. Ah, it doesn't even go in there, does it? Let's pop it in here first, that'll be why then. Feed the wires through the hole. That's why you do put the motor rubber on first. Although I need to orientate this. There we go. Because it only fits in one way. Right, that'll do. We'll worry about those later. Then we can pop this nice, washed up, cleaned sound deadening back into place. Especially it's not going to smell of musty, horrible brick dust much longer. Then we can turn over, place this part on here, and then, oh, if I just lean over you, hello, we can find at least 3 of these screws and drive them home. And that's now our motor part mostly done. I just need to remind myself how the wiring for this goes, because again, we took it all out, and I'm fairly sure it goes switch, straight down. But I'm going to look at the photograph that I took prior to this, get that clip back together, and these, look, I even took the little rings off because they're all gritty and horrible. You can tell, especially on the smaller one, where it's just been rubbing and grinding. And that is also quite evident. Where is it? Come on, camera, don't film me now. Here, look. The little contacts that sit under the cord reel and rub on these bits have sparked themselves into a hole. So, come back when we clip the wiring harness back into the machine. And we are done, all clipped in. It's quite difficult to film, although you can, if you hold these white wires out, sort of line them up with their clips, then push the whole thing in, then just poke them up into there. So that is marvellous. We can take our 3 white wheels. This one was a little bit seized up in its holder, so hopefully they spin now. These are what make the cord reel spin around like it does. And I guess we should probably start with the cord reel now. I have the flex here. We're going to start by fitting this on before we wire the whole thing up beautifully, and then pop you out of the way for a second, Mr. Henry. We don't need this stuff yet. Because we're reusing the original cable, we can sort of, you know, stick it back in the way that it went. So it would have started like, would it have started like that? Yep. See, that's going to be reflected there. That's got to come out of here. I think we're just going to do it again, folks. If we do it again, we can stick a slightly different bend on the cable. And after a lifetime of being pulled around, it may not be too bad at breaking the inner cable. Where's my screwdriver bit? Well, I got specifically ready to do this part. Oh, because all I need to do now is put the wires to their place, put this in, which isn't the exploding type, so we don't need to worry about removing it. This is a modern, oh, dropped it now, a modern one. Get this wired up, and then you'll look a little bit like this with our contact fingers in place. Who knows how long they will last for. I'm going to leave them in there for now though, because if they go, we can change them. Then it's quite easy on this modern machine. We can just slap the top down, line the 3 holes up, and do up the screws. On the earlier ones, it's a little bit more. Problem with this drill, the chuck keeps on coming undone. I don't know how long for the world this is. Going on Christmas. Is it going to last another year? There we go. It's getting quite sparky, but I want to wait until it completely dies before we replace it. Right, that's in there. We'll get the cable ready. And if I just slip this round, you line up the top. Oh, ooh, no! Wait. We'll do this properly. Look, there was no ferrite coil on this machine, was there? Thinking about it, that goes on there. You slide your grip into place so it's held firmly intact, and then you have to sort of rotate the whole thing over, trying to make sure that it doesn't all come apart. Then we can get our screws in, and I guess once we've wound the cable up, we can move on to the base. It's quite important to check your cable, because if something isn't sitting right, oh, look at that. This won't roll smoothly into place. I gave the plug as much of a scrub off as I could be bothered to. On to the base now, and we have our wheels. Because we have it out, I'm going to stick a little bit of spray onto the inner axles, just so it sounds a little bit less grindy. You know how a Henry can sound. There we go. Pop our cap back into place and do the same on the other side. Wheel in. Where's the inner? Here's the inner. Doesn't need a lot, just enough to, when it's rotating at speed, it doesn't sound awful. There we go, that wheel cap on. Then, well, we can do one of two things now. We'll pop his nose back in, or the bag holder. Then we'll put his face on. Look, he's coming back, folks. He's a Henry again. Then, oh, do I need a tappy? I think we do. Hang on. Then another scoosh in there. And I think that's going to be as good as it's going to be. If he had a problem before, he's still going to have a bit of a problem now. But, you know, you can't do much else. Then, gosh, we are getting close, aren't we? Here is the filter, after it's vacuum off and it's washed. The staining hasn't come out, but it never does. It is clean. I take this rubber edge off when I pop these through the washing machine, because if it catches, and where is it? You can see it's rubbed on something there. These can be a little bit devil dye. If it rubs through something at max spin, you're not going to know about it until the cycle is finished. And if you take this rubber edge off and it does just nibble at the plastic, you can get away with it because the rubber edge hides all evils. Wow, we're very close to getting this together now, aren't we? We do, however, just need a few finishing touches. We need a bag, and thank you to the lovely people who buy stuff from my Amazon wishlist for me. We can give it a nice, genuine HEPA bag. Somebody bought me a box from my wishlist. Very nice. We have cheap air freshener that can go live in there, and wow, what a difference it makes. I mean, it had a genuine HEPA flow in it before. Cannot fault it that, but it has one again now. Do you still work? Have we forgotten to plug in something important? The answer is no. Oh yeah! He works fine. He's not going to explode now. He's not going to burn out. It's all nice and clean. I literally flossed each one of those with a dirty microfiber cloth. And it works because that is strong airflow. Right, fantastic. We had better get on with this pile of garbage over here. This is the floor head. And we're going to start by clipping in the pedal, you know, the bit that makes the brushes go up and down. Then I think it was the brushes, and I wafted these over the wire wheel so they came out like new. That goes in there. Then there are these two springs here. And then there are no screws on this machine, this era of cheap plastic floor head. But equally, that floor head is pretty mint, considering it is a cheap plastic floor head. Oh, you just got to sort of line it up and clip it down. And I mean, hope it clips down. I don't quite know what you do if and when it doesn't, if it's so worn. But that should be it. Oh, is it? I think it is. I think what we actually need to do, because the problem is if I do the pedals now, look, that bit moves, and I think it shouldn't. I think that's why the rubber part isn't going down. So if we pop this in and stick our wheel axle through, yeah, why are you not, hang on, so it's not quite right here. The rubber blade is coming out. I guess it's good enough, but oh, hang on. Ah, wow. There we go, look. Now it's clipped into place. Now you can see the rubber blade coming up and down. Marvellous. Right. Pop our wheel back on. I just opened up each of these ever so gently until one came out. There we go. Cheap, nasty floor head is done. We have that. Here is an extra one that I knew I had. That's why I didn't go fishing around with the Skip too much. We got the Henry, we had the floor head, and arguably, most importantly, the bent end. A little piece of foam fell apart from inside of there. So that's going to be quite a rare piece to find. So what I'm going to do instead is just clip this back on and not bother with it, because it only works for noise reduction, and we don't need to care about that. That leaves us very, very close indeed to testing this thing out. Oof, blimey. Let's put the wands there. We have a floor head, wands, and a hose end. The hose is still wet at the time of filming this scene, and I want to go and hunt around for some small tools. So we're ever so close. Patience, Henry. Patience. Look, we can put the hose on. There we go. marvellous. He's ready to wait for me to go find those bits, wait for the hose to dry, and then we can finish off our Skip Find to perfectly functional Henry video. It's a couple of days later and we can continue with our project. You may notice some disgraceful tools with this Henry. I don't actually have a full set of pneumatic small tools. How bad of me. So they're 32mm, they fit fine. The hose is finally dry. This is the same hose. I did have to sit there and wipe every single individual coil off the hose. But, you know, saved myself a tenner, cannot complain. We're going to screw the original hose end into there, then get the Q-bond out. And with the Q-bond, we're just going to smash a load into the threads, just in a couple of places, and then do it up. Then it won't unscrew itself every 20 minutes. Like the hose on the cordless pneumatic does. Conical hoses are quite renowned for that. It is an annoyance, and obviously, as I alluded to earlier, I need to lend this out. We will be getting my stepsister's Dyson DC19, which, I mean, this is going out Christmas week. You're probably going to have seen that Dyson before because I'll have it in. We might do a video on it. I don't know, really. It may not need much. There might not be any point. But yeah, that's why Henry needs to be borrowed for a week or so. Right, click that in there. Yeah, there is a brand new hose cuff. Probably the main reason that this thing was thrown out. I mean, maybe they were just sick of it and, you know, it's been around their whole house refurb and they slug him to Skip anyway. But for £4.80, we have ourselves a Qualtex hose cuff. And if we plug Henry in now, that is some very, very good airflow. We can now pair him with his tools, and I can vacuum the floor with him for the first time since we pulled it out of the Skip. Oh, that does clamp down quite nicely. Oh, yeah. You work beautifully. Horrible plastic floorhead is doing what horrible plastic floorheads do. However, what I'm also going to send is an aero brush because she does have a dog, and I'm imagining that 3/4 of what's wrong with this Dyson DC19 is going to be its floor. So we'll send this up as well. Then she can chop and change between them. Right, that's not bad. Oh. Fantastic. Excellent job. There is pretty much nothing wrong with this machine now. The motor is absolutely mint. I mean, he's wearing his battle scars, but that's about it. And it's quite ironic that I'm putting these videos out initially over Christmas 2024. Is it Christmas now when you're watching this? Comment down below. You know, we have saved an unwanted orphaned vacuum cleaner, cast out. He now has a home, or, well, he will have a home because, I mean, I don't know, I'm part expecting my stepsisters to like him. I'll have to comment down below myself with what actually happened to him. If she didn't, I'll have him back and sell him. You know, whatever. But if she does like him, she is quite welcome to keep him, and I shall sell her DC19. I don't know really, but, you know, on Christmas week we've had 2 thrown out vacuum cleaners, the Henry 200, which you would have seen yesterday, and this. But of course, if you're not watching this on Christmas, none of that's going to matter. This is just the after video of a machine deemed scrap just for a hose end. So, I'm going to say, comment down below with your Henry refurbs. I know there's going to be some ghastly worse ones out there. Obviously, we had one yesterday. But, and he didn't come up as well. And I can tell that before I've even done him. Yeah, thanks to Movie Magic, and the fact that I need to chuck this one out now, he's not done yet. Hey, you'll know before me how he came out. So, we probably won't see this Henry again. However, he can now be a helpful Henry once more. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed. And I, and some other castaway Henry, will see you soon. Bye-bye.